bless you with love and peace. Bless you with love and peace, and welcome to Making It Happen, Take
Taking
Action
action.
broadcast with your mentor Barbara
Yes,
Herard
Jesus.
and host, as well as co-host Reverend A.W. Bush. Dear Lord, we come to you today thanking you for so many
Thank you,
blessings.
God.
Thanking you, yes, for the beautiful rain today to cleanse the earth and the environment. Dear Lord, we have so many issues going on in the United States of America and actually around the world. Turbulence is really facing us each and every day with people losing their minds and just killing people in shopping centers, at concerts, in schoolhouses, in movie theaters. Dear Lord, let them see you some kind of way in their lives and stop all the killing and violence in your name. Amen.
Amen. I'm going to read several verses from the book of Psalms, Old Testament, Psalms number 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. May God add a blessing to reading and hearing of His word. Father God, we come this morning thanking you for another day, thanking you for your amazing grace and your tender love and care, God, for keeping us these many years. Oh God, you've been good, mighty good to us. And God, we'd like to thank you for that. And God, we'd like to ask you to bless the city of Detroit and those that dwell therein, especially the men and women serving in the Detroit Police Department. God, walk with them, protect them, keep them from all harm and danger, oh God, and give them the special gift use good judgment, make all the right decisions in joining, protecting, and serving the citizens of the city of Detroit. Oh God, we ask you to watch over men and women serving in the armed services in foreign lands, oh God. Bring them back safely to their loved ones and friends. And oh God, we ask you to, God, bless our leaders, especially the President of the United States. Oh God, give him some wisdom. Give him some understanding, God. Give him what he needs, the gifts to lead this nation, God. Sometimes his judgment is poor. Sometimes the things he says are not rational or reasonable. But God, you got the ability, oh God, to give him good judgment. Give him those gifts that he needs to do this job. Make him all over if you have to, God. Remake him to the man you want him to be and to the president you want him to be. So he can lead your people, oh God. Watch over us and bless us and keep us. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Thank God.
Amen, amen. How are
Amen.
you today, Reverend Bush?
I'm good, Mr. Roy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Even though it's kind of cloudy and rainy outside, we not cloudy and rainy. We
We have all the
are
sunshine and on in our life.
exactly, and we always have to
Yes,
look
Jesus.
for the bright side. Um,
But that rain is a good thing, though, no, Mr. Roy. People complaining about the water and the rain. You
I'm not
know,
complaining.
I will tell you the good thing about it. The earth is made, majority of the earth is made up of water. Our body's made up of water. So,
Actually,
and water does a cleansing thing. It washes away the germs and impurities of the world.
really
It just,
does.
it's good for us.
Right.
And it's needed. So we need to stop complaining about the rain and even the sunshine because even, yeah, all those things play a major role in what's happening around us
In
and are
life,
good for us. So
in life,
just thank God for
we
it.
must have water,
We do. We can't make it without it, Mr. Right. Our body's made up majority of water.
food and shelter
Oh
to
yeah.
survive. And want to speak about a few things that are going on in our city, good things. Um, we want to thank Reverend Jeremiah Wright, who's actually at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church last weekend and spoke even through uh, his health challenges. We know and we love the leadership of Reverend Jeremiah Wright and the legacy he leaves behind him for us to follow. We love you, Reverend Jeremiah. Keep on doing
Yes, we do.
what you're doing. God bless. Um, Many of you, all of us actually, are looking at the news each and every day, and some people upset about uh, the NFL players that are on one knee bending, and we're gonna talk about that. You think about it. Tell, tell us how you feel about the players bending one knee, and if that's respectful or disrespectful, or why do you think that's really happening? Before we talk about it, however, we want to again let you know that our own Detroit Public Library is open on some Sundays and fun day for families, many activities. You can call the library, get the information. They have a series of activities. And the reason I talk about the library is because we are one of their partners. And
Yes, we are.
and you can go online and see that Motor City after school programs, BHRSC Inc. after school programs to get your children involved with learning, with homework that many of us have forgotten how to do because a lot of it is new. The way they are doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, algebra. Of course, the answers come out the same, but in many instances, it's just different. So come on out to Hubbard Library, 12929 West McNichols, and get your learning in. Let your children be the top of the class, and it really does work. Reverend Bush, one of our young people that came through our program, actually graduated from Wayne State College of Engineering last year as an engineer.
You know what, Mr. Wright? The
Hmm.
library has been an asset to our neighborhoods, you know.
It really has.
They are there for our kids to learn, to study in, to check out books and references and research, do research there. They even get tutoring there, many of
Right.
the libraries there. The main, and additionally, I was listening on the radio this morning, my car radio, and they were saying that we're going to have libraries open on Sundays. 3 libraries. The main's going to
Right.
be open
Right.
for several hours. After, they gave the hours. You can go to the website, Detroit Public Library website, and verify what the exact hours are. But I remember the main library is going to be open. There's one, I think it was the Wilder. There was one on the east side going to be open. And their Redford
Redford
Library is
Library,
going to be
right.
open on the west side.
On
Okay.
Sunday.
So we got 3 libraries for sure going to be open on Sundays, and that's something they haven't done in many years, Mr. Roy. Along
Okay.
with the other days of the week, they're going to be open, and they've
So
been an asset to our kids and to us. We
Detroit is moving
they
ahead,
open.
and these libraries are in the neighborhood. So we are stepping up, and they have a series of things that you can partake in.
Yes.
Saturday, October 14th, the main library, they're having Alicia Shabazz talk about Malcolm X and what he contributed in the civil rights movement. So that should be a wonderful talk. And they have many other series planned. So check out your own Detroit Public Library, which we love. Now, talking about that or those incidents, Reverend Bush, about
Yes.
the players not standing for the national anthem at games, and I looked at it seriously and tried to figure out why is this really happening? Uh, are they really disobeying or not honoring the Constitution of the United States, or uh, are they really looking at some other things? And I pulled out the amendment, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which says all persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. And I think that on that amendment, those young people are bending their knees, and even many older people in meetings are doing that also in respect uh, of actually, it's kind of a modern day Mars. It's a
Miss
protest.
Miss Gerard, what
Hmm.
gives them that right to do what they're doing is the ability of free speech.
Hmm.
Just like our president complained about what the news organizations, the TV networks, the New York Times, and the NBC and CNN, and those great networks are doing in reporting the news and what he's doing wrong and what he has done wrong, and just questioning his actions and what he says and what he does. Just like they have the freedom of a press, the football players have the freedom of speech. Doing and speaking out is a form of freedom of speech,
And
and
actually,
they have the right to act out what they think by using that right to speak,
right,
by acting
silently,
out what
silently,
they saying, they're
actually.
thinking.
And a friend of mine called me and told me that even in the Black Caucus meeting, which was recently in September in Washington, um, that that some of our leaders, even in protest and in sympathy with the athletes, took a picture on one knee,
Okay.
in commemoration of,
Well,
we don't like what's going on. We are protesting police brutality, um, education that's not up to standards throughout the United States in lower income neighborhoods, in African American neighborhoods, in Latino, Arabic, in minority neighborhoods, and housing and unemployment, the prison system from school to the jailhouse for our young boys, driving while black. All of these things, um, one knee represents, I feel.
well, uh, it's the press has a right to speak out and challenge what the president is doing. He wants to eliminate the EPA, and he's canceled out the Clean Air Act, taken by executive order. He wants to stop certain things from happening, and Congress has given EPA the responsibility to administer the Clean Air Act. They passed, but what the president wants to do by executive order is uh, girdle or uh, pulling the reins or uh, imprison the EPA such that it can't do what it was designed to do and cleaning up the environment. That's why, and making it safe for the citizens and people who live there.
Well, um, myself personally, I want to thank those players for um, recognizing and sympathizing with people of color throughout the United States
Well,
and probably the world, uh, and let people know, uh, even though they have attained this high office of playing football and making millions of dollars. If their race is not free, truly, they're not free.
Let's talk about why Colin Kaepernick originally started kneeling uh, during the playing of the national anthem. And the reason he did that is he was challenging what was happening by many law enforcement officers and
Police
taking the
brutality.
lives of minority citizens.
Hmm.
He thought that, and I think we should think also, does a law enforcement officer has the right to be judge, jury, and executioner,
And get away with it.
and taking the life of a citizen of these United States without probable cause? Because
Hmm.
in many cases, these citizens were not fighting back or an attempt to put the officer's life in danger, but the citizen was supposedly justifiably killed by the law enforcement officer. One was running away. He was fleeing, did not have a weapon on him. He was fleeing and he got shot 5 times in the back, killed. The other one was reaching in his car for his
License.
driver's license, and he told the officer, "Hey, officer, my driver's license are in my wallet under my behind, and I'm about to go and reach for that wallet." And the officer saw him reaching, and he just started shooting. He just shot him, what,
And
4 or 5 times, and
these
killed the driver. He was in the seat. And that's the reason I tell my boys, and I've always done, the first thing you
these
pull
are
over, you put
law-abiding
your hands
citizens.
on top of the dashboard and keep them there, and
Law-abiding citizens.
don't move them. Uh, in in those cases, the people ask permission. That, well, in the case where the the black man was in his car and was shot several times, killed in fact, because he was reaching for his wallet, not on a
Well,
weapon.
Reverend Bush,
But the other one was fleeing,
it's
and
all about
supposedly that officer had justifiable cause to kill and execute those 2 men.
it's all about social injustices that we as African Americans face each and every day. And you know, other races might comment, this should not have happened, but you're not a black woman like I am, or Reverend Bush, uh, African American
Hey,
male.
Mr. Wright.
We feel these things even though we are professionals, did everything right, you know, got a good education, graduated, raised our families, put our children through school, K through 12, then the universities, and then uh,
But
major
the
degrees,
thing is, we
all
live
that.
in these United States performing
We did
a
the right
righteous
thing.
and legal job, and doing what's right, and supposedly traveling where we have the right to travel. One time I was here in Detroit. Uh, what, in the 70s, early 70s, I guess, 77, 78, I was driving in the suburbs looking for a destination I was going. Of course, the police officer saw me there, and he was wondering why I was there. And he wrote me a
Well,
ticket. Didn't have probable cause. He said I ran a stop sign. I yielded. I yielded to the sign. There was no cars around or anything. I didn't even see him.
well, that's
And he
happened
wrote me
to
a
me.
ticket, and I didn't feel he had job probable cause, but he did it because he had the
That's
right.
happened to me,
He was
Reverend Bush.
the
Also,
legal law person to use judgment, whether it was right or wrong, to write
that's
me up.
happened to me right here in Michigan, and I was just devastated as a woman, a black woman
Hey,
traveling in Bloomfield, Michigan,
hey,
a few years ago to pick up my son.
things happen.
Uh,
Driving
at
while
that
black.
time,
The
he was
life we live in these
attending
United States of America.
Cranbrook Boys Academy, and driving down the back road to the Boys Academy, I was not speeding, but when I turned around, I saw I was being followed, and it was kind of dusty dark, and I saw the flashing lights. Of course, I was terrified, and the policeman told me to pull over. I pulled over, and I didn't know why I was being pulled over. He told me I was going 5 miles over the speed limit, which I wasn't,
Yes.
and I gave him all of my credentials and whatever, because you don't drive up there without your credentials. You don't, or drive anywhere
Well,
really, having your license, your registration, your insurance, and all of that. And I actually gave it to him, and I still got a huge ticket for that.
hey.
And one of the Caucasian parents who was
Uh,
driving to pick up her son at the time when we, got to the school, and she said that was not fair, because she said I saw you when came off Woodward, and you were driving like me, a speed limit, and you should not have been stopped. But these are the kinds of injustices we are talking
it's
about
being black,
that are
living black in a
having,
white
that
world.
we having, not only as Black American adults, but our children are facing them every day, in school, in the community, uh, just by being black.
And that's a cross we bear, ladies and gentlemen. And we bear it with pride because, hey, God gave us the right to life and pursuit of happiness. And the Constitution of these United States of America is supposed to give the same.
But
But it doesn't always give us that
but
right
that
and
does
privilege.
not mean we don't love our country. We love
Hey, we
democracy.
go and fight in the armed
We
services every
sure
day.
do. We sure do. We love
In the
love
Vietnam War, they sent us more than
America.
they sent anybody else, Mr. Roy,
Hmm.
straight out there on the front line.
And
Have
these are
mercy.
some of the reasons I think, and I feel why the players start kneeling, and other people um, in Congress were kneeling,
Hey,
in the Congressional Black Caucus this year. Like to
well,
lift up our national black anthem also. This is a couple of verses. It says, "Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the
yes,
harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high
yes.
as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song
Sing a
full of the
song.
hope that the present has brought us, facing the
Yes.
rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory
Victory is
is
won.
won." And this is why young people are protesting, and are kneeling. We are carrying the torch that Dr. King left for us to
The
carry
struggle continues. It is
in
not
different
over.
ways.
The journey, the struggle is not over. We thought we'd gained, have mercy, and won the war, but what we gained, we lost. And every day they're
Well,
pushing it back instead of
well,
forward. Look at Mr. Trump. He think just because he's black and just got over here in this country, second generation in this country. His father came here and then he's the second. And I wonder whether he was born here. But he's getting all the rights. He went from nothing to something, from the bottom to the top,
and
all the
listen,
way to the White House.
listen,
Based on
Reverend.
what? It wasn't because of his
The
intellect.
second verse says, "Stony the road we trod." Think about it. Those young people, even though they have attained greatness on a football team, but if in fact they were to drive in certain areas, or they might not be as fortunate as out there on that field, just because they're black. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chasing rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place of which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered.
We have fought
We have come
every step we made.
treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast.
Mr. Rod, nobody paved no way for us. Like
No.
Donald Trump, his daddy had millions, and when he was of age, gave him $10 million. Hey, boy, go out there and pave your own path.
Well, we
My
stand on.
daddy couldn't even give me a plate of food to pay my
Well,
path.
we
And
stand
he
on.
taught me how to make the food, harvest the vegetables.
We
But
can
hey,
always
he
stand
didn't have
on
nothing to give to me but
on
hard
our
work
rich
and
heritage.
ability to work hard.
We can always stand on our rich heritage from Africa, from slavery,
Yeah.
from our past, all of the great um, people who lived and died,
We can stand on the fact that we sons and
that
daughters
we
of the living God.
survived,
God still lives through us.
that we were survivors
God is
and
alive
still
through us, Mr.
surviving.
Roy.
God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Showered beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native
And we
land.
fight the good fight of faith, Mr. Rod,
We
all our
do.
life, day by day.
We
We
do.
fight the good fight of faith because nothing we got comes easy. Every step we take, we got to fight to take it.
That's true, and that's okay. And we have to teach our young people to do the same thing. Um, and I also
We're going to be fighting till the last breath we take, Mr.
want to
Rod,
bring
because
that
people want to take in and everything. Any gains we make, they take
want
away.
to bring that point
They
out
give it to
because
us and take it back.
we have joined up with the Institute of Industrial Engineers in conjunction with the Motor City After School Programs, BHRSC Inc., over at Wayne State University, to help college bound students, those young people who are serious and want to uh, pursue higher education. And but today, Reverend, but you got to be prepared.
Well, when I was a kid, my daddy told me, boy, you better get you some education. Education. Have mercy, Jesus. But he meant education.
And it's still true.
Yes, it is.
It's
And you
still
can't
true.
do nothing without it. You can get all the money in the world, but, the bank got your money. And if you can't get it, they can hold it and say, hey, there's a freeze on the money at the bank. So
Um,
if somebody else holding your money, it ain't your money, it's their money until you get it from them.
If you know
So, have
of
mercy.
high school young people, or well, actually, let me take that back because we have people of all ages, Reverend Bush, showing up for our homework help
They
center.
want to learn. They want some
Yeah,
education,
I was really,
Mr.
really
Wright.
shocked.
Many
Uh,
don't have the high school diploma. They need
Somebody
the
is
GED
getting the
equivalent.
flyers, and they are coming on up there to the institute.
And they are weak in mathematics, Mr. Roy. Some of them can't read as
Manufacturing,
well as they need to.
um,
Others,
building.
they weak in science.
Over
So,
there at Wayne State, and if you know of its focus for youth, actually high school 9 through 12 to study the STEM program, the science, the technology, the engineering, and math. That's what we are really focused on, and the engineering students are tutoring your young
well,
people
you have
to
anybody
get
who has the acumen and the
and
talent
the community.
and education
And the
s-
community.
the knowledge to teach. We teach it. God gives you that
and
right
the
from
and the community.
working hard and his gift to you, Mr. Rod. If you got the gift and you know mathematics, you're a
And you're
scholar
welcome.
in
You're
mathematics. You come to help the
welcome. If
kids.
you welcome, want to come on over there to Wayne State, you can call us and get the information, and we'll give you the building and where it is and the days and times because our young people need you. But you know what really
What,
kind of
Mr.
startled
Rod?
me, Reverend Bush? Now we have, I guess, almost 1,000 of these flyers out there
Okay.
in the community. And I was really shocked as to who showed up first.
Who?
It wasn't anybody that looked like us.
Oh, have mercy. Well, they need education too, Mr.
But
Rod.
no,
The light-skinned people showed up. Some of them.
very light, blonde hair, blue eyes people.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well, you know why I
and
feel.
if it's free, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Well,
It's the best price
people
that money
can
can buy.
see.
Free.
people can
No cost.
see the need of excelling, and they can see programs like this that will help them to get in universities like Wayne State University and other universities around the city, around Michigan, because you can't really test high on these entrance college entrance exams if you don't have a certain amount of knowledge. It's That's a fact.
It takes the
That's a fact.
you got to have exposure to the learning, to different knowledges and subjects in mathematics.
Hmm.
We have the general math, we have the algebra. You have the geometry, and then you have
Calculus.
the advanced mathematics. We're talking about high school, Mr. Roy.
That's high
And
school.
and then we go on. Yeah, I guess you have
That's high school.
yeah,
All young people
advanced
have
yeah,
calculus.
the special uh,
They're honor
classes.
students.
Yes, you do have
I had
can
some last
take
week.
calculus in high school, but
Hmm.
those are the best of the best,
Oh,
Mr.
they're
Roy.
honor students for
Yeah,
sure. But that's what we're talking
and
about.
that's an advanced placement course, of course,
Uh,
that is given in the high school,
that's
certain high
what
schools
we're
here
talking about,
in
people.
Detroit.
You cannot ignore it. I tell our young people uh, every week that when you get out of high school and the guidance counselor or your parents or whoever gets your transcript to a college or a university, you're just a number. People don't know you.
Well,
They're going to look at your GPA.
wh-
What was it?
when
What
they
did you earn?
recognize your mental acumen and intellectual ability by what you do and how you do it,
Hmm.
then they'll know who you are, Mr. Rod. Your
Right,
footprint, your
right.
the print that your mind, your work place out here in the world,
In other words,
in the
even
world.
in actually starts all the way back, I guess, from preschool on up. Uh, People want to know what you can bring to the
Your
table.
work, your work,
What do
your
you
written
bring
work,
to the table?
your speech, your written work, your product of your what you do. You
And
know,
some young people out there want to go into medicine, and that's great. And we have a wonderful doctor in the community who assists us from time to time
Dr.
to,
McCree,
yep, to help with biology and sometime with math. We also have
and some health problems, Mr. Wright. She's helped us about
exactly,
relative to heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes,
hmm
all of those
and also
illnesses.
Mr. John, also who happens to be a respiratory therapist. He comes by and talks to the young people about his career, and everyone's not going to go into engineering.
He's a physical therapist, isn't
Yes.
he? Okay.
And we want to thank them
For
for
the work that they've done
being
last summer,
so diligent
working with the
to
students
help the young people.
in Young Detroit, Grow Detroit, Young Talent.
Exactly. We are tutoring basic math, algebra, geometry, calculus, chemistry, biology. And also, a young lady came the other night, Reverend Bush, with Spanish homework.
Okay.
And
Do you look like you a Spanish person, Mr.
I
Wright?
guess so, because I helped her.
You do have an unusual tint on your skin, so you can
Well,
almost pass, Mr. Wright.
It didn't
Have
have,
mercy.
it didn't have nothing about the tint on my skin. It had what
Yes.
I learned
You,
at
you,
high
you,
school,
you
at
got some
college, in
influence that's
Spanish.
different than African that shows up on your
No,
face,
no, no.
Those are dark, black,
We had to take Spanish in high. Well,
tints, and
actually,
you have a little brownish orange
remember,
Indian tint, Mr. Wright.
that don't have nothing to
Is
do
that
with
all
that.
makeup, or is that natural? Have
It's
mercy.
it's what's up here,
I agree.
and what is retained.
Yes, it
And
is.
I was able to help the young person
Thank God.
with her Spanish homework.
Because of your past educational exposure, Mr.
Exactly.
Wright. You've been
So
introduced
you
to
never
Spanish in
know.
your lifetime.
You never know. Uh, what you have to do, when you have to do it, what you be called on,
Hey.
and if you have that educational background and you can pull it out, your brain
You
is.
reached back the reservoir of
Your
your
brain.
mind and brought up something that you hadn't used in years and
I'm
years.
I didn't know it would
Praise
happen,
God.
but I started speaking Spanish.
Did you? That's what God can do, Mr. Wright.
Sure can. Now,
Yes.
getting back to what's going on in Detroit, and we have been talking about the good things that actually came out of that 1967 rebellion, and one of the things that we looked at in our little book here that the library put out was concerning the crisis in Detroit of water. Thousands of residents, even now, do not have the means to pay the city's highly inflated water bills. And going to our community meetings, that's one of the big issues that people around my neighborhood talk about. Why is my water bill so high? And I want to know that too, Reverend Bush.
Hey, hey.
I was looking at my bill yesterday.
Well,
Why is my water bill so high?
they said that they they need the money because they're
They what?
they're processing water from runoff, too much water from runoff,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it's not being costed out, so they got to figure out a way to uh, uh, improve out the existing systems. There's some things, Mr. Wright, they should have done in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s that this city didn't do, and they trying to capture some money to renovate
Well,
and redo. Have
well,
mercy.
it sure is
Replace
hurting.
our water,
It is hurting
main
the
water
average
lines, Mr.
citizen
Wright. It's a money thing.
because thousands
You
of
know,
people are running
during the
around
late 80s, Congress
without water.
had earmarked money to replace our water lines. All the suburban water districts, sewage and water districts, replaced their water systems, but for whatever reason, under the leadership of Coleman Young, and they didn't do it. And I was working for U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that was managing this program, and
Well,
the engineers that I was working with over there at the boatyard relative to the Detroit district office here for the U.S. Corps of Engineers asked me, since I lived in the city of Detroit, said, why Detroit is not redoing their potable water and wastewater lines, and everybody else is. I said, hey,
well,
I don't know. It's
there
up to the management
there
of the
is
city.
there's an
And we had Coleman
organization.
Young, our mayor, but for some reason, they didn't find the money. But
There's an
let me finish, Mr.
organization.
Roy. At that time, the
Well,
federal government was
hurry
going to
up,
pay for 75% of the cost to replace
hurry
those
up,
lines.
Bush.
The state was going to pay 10%, and all we had to come up with the difference. And guess what? We couldn't find the difference, so our lines didn't get replaced
Well,
then. All the
there's
suburban
an
lines did
organization
work.
called We the People of
Okay, we the
Detroit,
people.
WTP, led by Monica Patrick, and Detroit's People's Water Board Coalition calls for an affordable plan that would assign fees according to family income. Several cities have instituted such policies, Philadelphia most recently, and have found that they effectively ensure water to all citizens while providing adequate funds for maintenance of water, sewage, and infrastructure. Because if you don't have water, that's a major
You know what, Mr.
health
Roy?
hazard.
Just a year or two ago, last winter, one of the news organizations reported that there are some lines in the Detroit water district in the city of Detroit still are running lines that are made of wood. And I'm
Wow.
shocked. And they've been there since the 1800s,
Well,
maybe early
water
1900s.
is a
And
human right.
but hey, if you don't replace them, it's gonna stay down there.
There's a caller, Reverend Bush.
Is there a caller?
There's a caller.
Caller, you on there? Tell us what's on your mind.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
you got to
Speak
speak
up.
up. We can't hear you.
hello. The reason why the water bills are up so high is because
Speak up.
the former
That's better.
administration
Louder.
had. Hello. Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
Better, loud. Don't be afraid to speak.
The former administration had implemented illegal. Well, yes, it is illegal, but drainage
You're
fee.
whispering, ma'am.
It's not really a law, but if you look in your Michigan Constitution, it states that in a way you can protest it, And if you get a document, I actually have one with me. I'm gonna read off to you what it actually is.
Okay.
Okay, so it's objection to protest drainage fees,
Mm.
and
Wow.
it's a 5-page letter um to the Detroit Water and Sewage Department, the mayor Gary Brown, also Great Lakes Water Authority, the Michigan Department of Human Rights, and it's a protest. So actually, Carl and Hassan usually talk about it when they come on air Tuesdays. And I'm also an activist, and I also been fighting about the drainage fees and the
Okay.
water shutoff. So it listed here in the section 29 and 51 in the Michigan State Constitution that the residents of the city of Detroit, churches, and other nonprofit organizations as taxpayers has been declined taxation without representation. And due to the process and equal protection of the Constitution of the Michigan, the state of Michigan, and it basically says warn us about the authority and the quality to have water. So whenever it rains, that's actually adding on to our water bills without you even knowing. That's why.
Well, they had requested that we disconnect our water spout, the drainage from the roof, and let it drain outward on our lawns rather than down through and go into
Well,
the sanitary sewer system.
Did you know
Uh,
you could protest that?
well, we didn't have a choice. We either do it or they're going to find us. So, you
You
got
could
an option.
protest that. That was,
You
that
do
was
what
to
they
be
tell you to
protested.
do or you accept the consequences.
well, ma'am.
Well, also, there's another problem also. The businesses are nonprofit organizations like churches or certain other nonprofits, 501(c)(3)s. If you got a lot of paved areas that are impervious, in other words, water can't drain down to the ground through that surface. It has to be asphalted paved or concrete paved. Then
Yes, but I have a
that
quick
creates
question.
runoff, and that runoff must go through the drainage system all the way to the water treatment plant, and that costs money. So they trying to lower that
I
volume
have a
of
quick
water that
question.
goes to
Okay.
the treatment plant.
Was this ever implemented through any other administration?
What was that?
Was this ever implemented in any other administration?
No, but and you got a point there. I wonder why they
There you
picking
go.
on us. It could be a black-white thing, because they want to take the city back. So that could be a way that
Social injustice.
they could come after us, create a problem for us paying for all
It
this,
is to come
such
after
that
us.
if you can't pay,
That's
you don't get to
exactly
keep
what
the
it is.
property. You can't get to use the property, so you got to move.
And
You
I
see,
want to.
you got to move,
I want to just.
and that eliminates you from living and presiding at the location.
I want to bring this aspect.
It's a claim of the property thing.
I want to
That's what
bring this
think it is, y'all.
aspect into the picture, ma'am, too. Being that you are, on this board and working with them, so many of our young people don't come to school, and they will tell us that they had to stay with another relative, or aunt, or grandma, or whatever, because they had no water. Okay, their water was cut off. The whole family had to get up and move someplace else. And this happens repeatedly, and people don't know, what's really going on. Or the heat was cut off, or the food, or whatever. Our young people are really catching it.
The adjustment of
Mhm.
costs. I
I
have a
know I
problem with
am.
that.
I'm a young person as well.
Thanks for calling, caller.
Thank you.
Okay,
the problem, Mr. Rod, I think is, and I have a problem with that. We were the owner. We built that system, Mr. Rod. They just use it, and then under this bankruptcy, they claim that it's theirs, and they said they're gonna buy it, but they bought it for pennies, Mr. Rod, and they still charging the residents of Detroit almost twice as much as they charge the suburban residents that use the same water. So if anybody gonna get a discount, it ought to be the owners, the previous owners of the system, rather than the ones who were using it and who didn't own it. We own it. We paid for it, Mr. Rod. The people that stayed,
It is
they
a problem.
left.
It's
They
a problem.
left. They left the city. So when you leave your property and don't maintain it, you
Water.
leave whatever's
Water
there. It
has
ain't
to
yours
be.
no more.
Water has
So
to
how-
be a human
under the
right.
bankruptcy, they took it back at no cost.
Water
Little to no
is
cost,
a
Mr.
human
Rod.
right.
You know,
And
they
it
claimed it back.
should
Now they
not
run
be
it and
cut
do
off.
everything for it, and they didn't have to
And
pay
keep
nothing
our
for it for
children,
pennies.
from coming to school
Have mercy, Jesus.
because they don't have no water.
And they're
Okay?
making us pay for it, Mr. Rod. That is not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live and we own it, we got to pay more than them, and they just using it. They never did build it or put it together.
All right.
You know,
Okay.
they didn't pay the cost
I need to switch.
for it.
Because we're going to be going off in a few.
Yeah.
But there is a Walk for Freedom this coming weekend on Saturday, October 14th from 9:30 a.m. to noon. And I picked this up in the Chronicle, led by, actually, a Walk for Freedom takes a great step against human trafficking. Reverend Bush, that is one of the most humiliating things going on in our society that we can think of. This in Detroit is led by Mark and Keisha Perry Farr in Detroit, and also throughout Michigan and the United States. It manifests a very, very serious problem that continues to escalate and terrify.
Yeah.
According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, human trafficking is the exploitation of others in form of sexual exploitation, forced labor or service slavery or practice similar to slavery, servitude, or forced unlawful removal of one's organs, organ harvesting, to sell on the black market. Human trafficking is illegal, vile, and it takes the sale of human beings by force, fraud, coercion, deception, recruitment, and control. It is 21st century slavery. Anyway, they are having a march on this coming weekend on Friday, and the paper says it is starting at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, and there are many thousands of people who have been affected by this human trafficking, and thousands of young people come up missing every month because of this. If in fact you are interested in marching for the freedom of these people who are being misled through sexual trafficking and all these other types of illicit problems, you can get in touch with Walk for Freedom against human trafficking. And for information, you can call 904-595-6111. Again, 904-595-6111.
Mr. Rod, they also have neighborhood police officers conference this weekend at
Okay.
Marriott Hotel.
Okay.
It's going to be from the morning, about 8 a.m. in the morning to roughly about 3 p.m. Saturday evening. All the volunteers from the neighborhood patrols and all the volunteers from the Chaplain Corps, Detroit Police Department, are invited, and many of the other people who work for the Detroit Police Department are coming and are invited. And
Okay,
this is where we use the
think,
neighborhood to accomplish
I did not
positive
give-
things relative to serving and protecting
I
cities
did not
and
give
cities
information
Detroit.
on our college-bound program as far as telephone numbers. to have your young people call, or if you are sincerely interested, bring them on down. Phone number Wayne State is 313-577-3821, and the young lady is the student Bemby Adamase, 313-577-3821, and my phone number 313-585-4645. If you want your young person to go to college, and like one student says, she got scholarships, y'all.
Got money?
Yeah, she got scholarships.
Takes
So
money to get educated.
that's what the young people are saying about the program. She got scholarships, so you know what that means. If you want to go, want to put in the time and the work, you can do this right here, right now. God bless. See you next week.
Thank you for watching.
Making it happen.
God
Taking
bless you.
action. Barbara Harrod, Reverend A.W. Bush.